Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something pretty fun.
Uh-oh.
We've all seen it, when guys act all kinds of ways when they are falling in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, we've got some great sources here. And I think it'll be pretty eye-opening for folks out there who are maybe dating a guy or who just want to understand guys better.
Yeah, it's really funny how these everyday things guys do are suddenly just so much more entertaining when you realize that they're doing it because they're in love.
Yeah, it's like they turn into a different species or something, right? It's
Totally.
like a secret code,
Yeah.
like we're cracking the code.
Yeah.
So let's start with one that we're calling grocery store gladiators.
Okay.
Our sources describe how a guy in love will just become this like laser focused shopper.
Mm,
Like suddenly they care about getting the groceries right.
yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I think, it's not just about you know, they want to show that they care. It goes deeper than that.
Oh, okay.
I think it even goes back to our evolutionary roots, men have always been the providers.
Oh,
And so in today's world, getting the right groceries is their way of showing off that instinct,
oh, wow.
that they can still provide.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still there.
that makes total sense. So it's
Yeah.
like the modern day hunting expedition,
Exactly.
but instead of, bringing home like a, bison or whatever, they're bringing home the right, sparkling water.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like the specific brand too.
Right. Or the right yogurt or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's all about that competence, showing that they can fulfill her needs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Okay, next up is something that I think we can all relate to in the age of smartphones, and that's text message overload.
Oh, yeah.
Those constant texts about the most random things.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the example in one of the sources about the guy sending all the cat gifs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, so
I mean, it might just seem like a way to stay connected, but I think often there's this underlying anxiety,
oh really?
especially early on in a relationship.
Oh, so you're saying it's not just about being cute or whatever. They're trying
Not
to get reassurance or something.
totally. Yeah, it's kind of like a way of saying, hey, are you still thinking about me? Is everything okay?
Right.
Without actually having to ask, which can be a little vulnerable
Yeah.
for guys, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating.
yeah.
It makes me feel a little bit better about all those, random texts I get,
Yeah.
even if they are a bit much sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's move on to one that's a little bit more auditory. And the sources describe this as impromptu serenades.
Okay.
So basically, guys bursting into song when they're feeling all, lovey-dovey,
Mm-hmm.
even if they sound more like a, I don't know, dying walrus than Bruno Mars.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I think the source even described one of the guys as sounding like a foghorn in a hurricane.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but you have to admire the passion though, right?
I do.
They're really going for it.
They're really feeling it.
Yeah, and I think this actually goes beyond just wanting to share music with you,
Mm.
It's more about expressing these deep emotions that maybe they can't put into words.
Right.
Music really taps into this primal part of our brains.
Right.
So even if the performance isn't that great, the emotion behind it is totally real.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like they're trying to convey the depth of their feelings through sheer volume.
Totally.
Okay, this next one is pure gold, and we are calling this one cheesy romantic gestures.
Oh, boy.
So we're talking about those over-the-top attempts at romance. In one of the sources we read about a guy who set up a picnic in his living room
Oh my gosh.
and then quoted a really bad movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thought that counts, right?
It is. It is. And I think, don't forget, there is a reason for all this. These gestures are often driven by a need to impress.
Yeah.
They want to create this memorable experience. They're putting themselves out there. They're risking embarrassment,
Yeah, they are.
all to show that they care.
It's like they're trying to recreate a scene from a Hollywood rom-com, but they only have a $5 budget.
Totally. Yeah. And a can of spaghetti.
Exactly.
But you know what? They're speaking the language of romance,
Yeah,
even if their grammar is a little off.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally we have the overzealous meet the friends phase.
Okay.
So this is when a guy's so smitten that he can't wait to introduce you to all his friends.
Yeah.
Even if that means you're going to hear every embarrassing story from his past.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, this is a big step,
It is.
And it signifies a deep desire for integration, He wants approval. It's like he's saying, I'm so into you that I want you to be a part of my world.
Oh.
Like all of it, even the messy
It's
parts.
almost like he's so excited, he's not thinking straight.
Right?
Like he forgets that maybe his friends aren't the best people to show off his good side.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all about, blurring the lines between his romantic life and his social circle,
Hmm.
which shows he's really thinking about the future.
Wow, this has been so eye-opening. I feel like I'm seeing all this stuff in a totally new light.
It's amazing what you discover when you dig a little deeper, isn't it?
It really is. So, what do you think? Are there any other signs you've noticed that, you know, could mean that a guy is head over heels?
Mm.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. So share your observations with us on social media using hashtag #DeepDiveWillSpoilsQuirks, and maybe we'll even explore them in a future Deep Dive. Until then, keep your eyes peeled for those hilarious signs of love.